Right, right.
But the first opening of Filipino martial art was started by A.J. Gabalas in 1964. You know,
That's there in Stockton?
there in Stockton.
Is that building where he taught upstairs of that grocery store?
Oh no, he taught in many different places. He taught what they call Sharp Depot.
Right.
Manolio was teaching about the same time. They all started about the same time.
Right.
And also 1964 is the first time the public demonstration, at least to the known world at that time, was Ben Lagusa. So it's almost simultaneously. The Lagusa pushed the Villabreo system in 1964 at the International Karate Championship. In the same, almost in the same year, Angel Gabalas opened up his first commercial school. Prior to that time, it's always taught in the backyard.
Right.
And so the backyard in Hawaii is very, very common. You know, they take 1, 2, 3, possibly not more than 8 students, and they would teach them, you know, the Filipino martial arts.
Right. So, so before then, really, they were training their friends and family to help them stay alive in conflict.
Yes.
And then during the time when those instructors, the next generation, the Ben Largusas and those guys who brought it out, started teaching it as a martial art open to the public.
Yes.
That's kind of when that change started.
Right. And we started doing it in I believe, in 70, don't quote the date on me, but I should know this by heart, but I think it's 1975 is when we started to teach it to the public.
Right.
We started to teach it. But most people didn't know what Kali was. They didn't know what a screamer was. They didn't know what Arness was,
Right.
you know. And then there's always an argument. A lot of the guys in the Philippines says, well, I've been living in the Philippines, we never heard of the word Kali. Well, the usage of different terms come up. Like we know we talk like, thou art good. Well, nobody talks like that now. That's old English.
Right.
But
right.
that was English. They say, you are good. You don't say thou art good. Or I love thee. When we say I love you.
Right.
So usage of language comes out. But Kali is a term. I use the word Kali because Grandmaster Flora Villabreo said it is Kali, and you should use Kali, not Eskrima and not Arness.
Right.
Arness Limano. So I use it because Flora Villabreo, and who's going to argue with Flora Villabreo when
Right.
he's alive? Everybody, it's funny because as soon as he passed on, they said, watch, everybody's going to say he's wrong, and then it came out to be true.
Right.
So,
but nobody argued when he was alive.
No, when he's alive, nobody's going to argue with him. He's going to pay a visit. But whether you call it a screamer, it's a Filipino martial art. You know, pangamut, you can call it Filipino pangamut.
Yes, sir.
When you train with a weapon, they say panadata. But now pangamut means straight empty hands. But in the original, according to Lucky Lakai Lakai, pangamut means one who's skillful. You know, if you practice, it's skillful in the empty hand skill and with weaponry. But now it means empty hands, pangamut.
So it's evolved. Now, when that happened and those started changing, that also was very quickly influenced the law enforcement community.
Yes, I think you can easily say that the Filipino martial arts, whether they give them credit or not, has infiltrated the law enforcement community and the military community.
Right.
If the military community, then it's always influenced people like different special op groups.
Right.
From SEALs, Delta Team, you know, airborne units, special forces, Rangers, because we have a lot of people out there. And then in the law enforcement community, I can't think of any initial. We have people, without giving out anything, they're with the CIA. We have people in our organization who are FBI. Every initial you can think of, you know.
Right.
Tobacco, firearm,
Sure.
All those guys have, no matter what initial, and there's more than one initial, you know,
Right.
has a lot of Filipino background.
Right.
A lot of people, like a lot of organization systems, and I'm going to name them, they've taken from it, and then just added and call it their own. But
Right.
this has been going on for centuries. So no matter what they call it and how they change it, it has a Kali influence, and it's in the law enforcement community, and it will continue to be in the law enforcement community, because when it first came out here, most of the guys were law enforcement people, and they were military. So the military community and the law enforcement community have always used it.
Right.
And then they had, also they pass it on, like in the camps, whether it be in the pineapple field, or whether it be, sometimes they would mix that with chicken fighting. They'd have a chicken fighting match, and then they'd have a steak fighting match. So pretty much everyone's going to say their system's superior, or their system has more realism than the other system. But when I look at it, it's a generation, a college, could be University of Texas, could have a good football team for 2 or 3 decades, and then maybe nothing good after that.
Right.
Whether it's Oklahoma or Texas or in martial art, these guys get old, and then they're not as good as they were when they were maybe in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and then the body slows up at 60 and 70, but they got the knowledge. So I think all the systems work. You know, there's many different systems. I tend to like it all. I like to study just for the sake of studying. So I think all those systems are really good, and you should learn a variety of different systems. I think that's perfectly okay to do that, you know.
Right.
And you having respect for everyone that taught you, and I think that's important.
And giving credit to them.
Yes.
Yes, sir. You break kind of martial arts down into martial sport,
Yeah.
martial science.
Right. I think some people more martial survival.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have people just martial sport. Then you have martial culture. Martial culture, they're interested in it as a that's like a lot of them. You can study history through the use of the history of martial art. You can study every country, and that will give you a background, because no country, no civilization has survived unless they had military power. No
Right.
matter how good they could be number one in agriculture-wise, engineering feats-wise, the theatrical arts, you know, the costumes and everything, whatever the culture's been good at. But if they don't have a military might to keep that culture, it fades. Unfortunately, that's the way the world is, you know. You have to have military might to keep your culture.
Right, to protect it.
And if you can't do it, then of course that culture, the rise and falls of different civilization is because of that, you know.
Right, right. Excellent. Well, Guro, thank you very much. That's really what I wanted to cover today.
Okay.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.